Rev up your engines! It's time for the Scotty Kilmer channel. Is your car's back bouncing like an old band in a Porky Pig cartoon? Well, then you need new rear struts, and today I'm going to show you how to put rear struts on your car. Now, I've already made a video on replacing front struts, and the back are similar, but you have to take the rear seats out in most cars to get to the top bolt to get it off. So in this Toyota, you just pop out the bottom and take it out. Then in this Toyota, go in the trunk, pull the lever that opens the rear seat, and then the seat just folds down. And behind this little panel, there's the bolts that hold the top of the strut on to take the top off. Then you get a 12mm wrench and take off the 3 bolts that hold it on the top. Then you jack up the car and take off the wheels. Take the wheel off. There's the strut inside here. Then you have to unbolt all the parts, like the bolt here. And this is a special bolt, so you have to have a wrench and an Allen socket here to take it off, because otherwise it'll just slip. Then you take the brake line off that's bolted to the strut too and move that out of the way. Remove the 2 bolts that hold the bottom of the strut on. And then with a bit of wiggling, you get the whole thing out. And now comes the hard part. You got to take the spring assembly part to put it on the new strut assembly. Now, some guys will just buy a strut assembly that has a spring built in. They're called complete struts, but they cost a lot more money, and these simple tools don't cost that much, so do what I'm doing. Get a spring compressor and take it apart. These little spring compressors just fit over the spring, and they got these little safety locks. You put one on one side and then one on the other. You just tighten them up so they compress the spring, and then when it comes apart, you're able to put it back together again. Then you just unbolt the top, and it comes apart. And you can see the old strut is really worn out. It's like a kazoo. Whoop, 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 whoop. It's supposed to be really hard to pull up and down, and it's just worn out. Then you get your spring assembly, and you stick it on top of the new strut. Then get the strut mount, put it back on the top, and bolt it on. Then you get your wrench and socket and start to loosen the spring compressor so it lets loose. And there you have it. It's all back together now. Now comes the real fun. You got to wiggle it like that to get it up in the holes up in here. And once you do, you quick put some bolts in the top so it doesn't fall down. Then you put the bolts in that hold it in and get them on nice and tight. Hook the brake line back up and put the bolt on the suspension link and tighten it. Then put the wheel and hubcap back on. And of course, do the other side because they work in pairs. So if you want to fix the bouncies in your car, why not put new struts on yourself? And remember, if you've got any questions, just visit the Scotty Kilmer channel.